How can we summarize that in a really, yeah, that's good. Teachers demoralized and what is it?
In my understanding, this is in place of contracts, am I right?
Yeah, going back to the collective bargaining.
Yeah, so it's because of collective bargaining, they don't have contracts, so this template is headed down, that they do get to have some input in, but anyway, that's why
Not
it's
necessarily.
happening now.
It's a boilerplate template from Wisconsin Association of School Boards,
Okay,
and it's different with every district.
okay. Thank you.
James Stahl.
Yes, I'm Jim Stahl. I'm a state employee. I've lost $300 a month. And one of the places that I see that that money went was back to the Las Vegas loophole.
Yes.
And now this is being sent out to all large corporations have the ability to pay no state tax. If my money would have been, they said, well, Badger Care, senior care, we need help there. That I would have no problem with. I avoid shopping at Walmart. I do not believe my money should go to Walmart. And you as a small business person, I'm sure, cannot take advantage of any of these loopholes.
No, I don't think I'm eligible for the Las Vegas loophole, no.
So it's kind of, this is something, the other thing is, this was made that losses retroactive for 20 years can be deducted. So we need to rein this in. If we made Walmart pay their fair share, they aren't leaving the state. This is where their customers are. The banks aren't leaving the state. Beaver Dam, for some reason, gave $24 million to them. That was, what, 10 years ago or something? That's, you know, they just aren't leaving. There's no reason that these large corporations need, if they're gonna make money, they're gonna come in.
Okay, so yeah,
Tax
so
policy
make
favors.
Large corporations, there's nothing in there for small businesses, or virtually nothing.
Yeah, and what I've been hearing a lot going around is that people seem to feel that if there is gonna be job growth, it's gonna have to come from small businesses and maybe even micro businesses like mine, where people just look at their situation, maybe they've lost their job or whatever, and they say, I need to make money, how can I do it using the skills and whatever I have? And with the internet, it's getting easier, and I think people are able to better their situation, but it takes work, and like you say, we small businesses don't have the same breaks that the big guys
Well,
get.
one other thing is, because of this reduction in my pay, I don't, when I need something, I don't run down to the corner to Ace Hardware. I shop for it. And unfortunately, many times I end up at one of the big box stores because, you know, I don't have the money to spare. So therefore, that person who is a very adamant Republican can't understand why I'm not coming to his store.
No comment on Ace Hardware because I really like going there.
Well, that's particularly one in
It's just right
This
over
is one in
my house.
Cambridge, but anyway, it's just, I try and, I shop the Pig when they have sales, but normally I go other places, I shop all over when there's sales. As opposed to
Well,
being
it
a little
does,
more.
the lowering of state workers' wages obviously impacts the economy as a whole. I mean, I know we wanted to put a new roof on our house last fall, and found out with my husband's pay reduction that basically his pay was getting cut what our roof was gonna cost. And we already are so close on our budget that we just don't have extra money to put away for that. So we had bidded out the roof, you know, we had called 3 guys, only 2 showed up. But we had gotten good bids and we had decided, all right, this is who we're gonna go with, we're gonna do this in September. We had everything figured out, and then the pay cuts hit. And so, you know, that roofing company with the local guys who were gonna do our roof for a week didn't get our business. And when you multiply that out by all of these state employees, it's staggering the effect that this has had. So, yeah, thanks.
Chris Kluver.
You have some really, really excellent points. This is great. I'm really concerned about the war on women. And it's glad to see you as a woman running. I want to see more women in government. I think you need women in government. But this is something that I feel very strongly that why are they attacking women? What is that about?
Don't know, can't speak for
You
Alec.
fight for us, Lori.
Thanks.
I've got one more here that's a repeat, so I want to make sure I've got everybody else who's had a chance to, anybody else that wants to? Jude?
First of all, I wanted to thank you for holding a listening session. I encourage you to do more. So I know that Senator Fitzgerald did have some listening sessions as well when a lot of the acts came through last year. And I felt, and I spoke at those, and I appreciate and I thank you for the ability to speak here today. And I also want to encourage everyone to speak up. I'm an independent, so I work tirelessly to try and work on the recall for Senator Fitzgerald. So, and one of the things I think that has happened is there's this great polarization of our state. And I hope that you are able to try and bridge this. And I encourage you to reach across and work with everyone so that we can, as the government and the state, work together. And the thing I think that would help is if we would have, if there is a very contentious issue similar to this, is that if we could put it to a referendum. I have no problems with referendums. I think that is a way that we bring democracy to our republic. And I think we need more of that instead of less. And I see some of these issues of Republican grabbing of power, or maybe a republic and a faction grabbing of power, whether it be Democrat or Republican. Those are the dangers of the political parties. And I encourage you to have referendums and processes to preserve our republic through democracy. So, and in addition, since I don't want to have more repeats, so I think also you as a small business owner, I encourage you to come up with a plan. So talk about how can we bring about some of this inequity where we have the large-scale loopholes for a large corporation. Let's talk about restructuring that so some of the money that I lost as a teacher, that would go for small businesses and to promote jobs at a local level. I like your ideas about doing those things, and now let's think of some ways that we can do that together. So if I'm sharing my money, so I'd love to share it so that somebody down the road can bring that business and hire another employee so that we can work together in our community, in our state.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I'm talking about kind of bridging the gap, or talking to people from, I hesitate to even say the other side, because when we think of things in sides, you're framing it in a way that invites controversy. But in Columbus, somebody asked about the prevailing wage law, and the vast majority of the people in the room supported it, but there was a business owner in the back who said, this hurts business, and he felt very passionately that this was a bad idea. And after the meeting was over, it was 7 o'clock, time for everybody to go, I went over and talked to him, and we ended up talking for a long time, and somebody said later, he's like one of the biggest Republicans in town, and he's this big business guy, and why were you talking to him or something? And I was like, because he has more business experience than anybody else in the room, and we need to really reach out to people like that and see how they can inform what we want to do. Instead of just thinking, I just refuse, I refuse to think that people who are running with an R behind their name, or people who vote for the person who has an R behind their name, are like somehow an enemy. I think we all have things to bring to the table, and if this guy has a lot of business experience and he has ideas for how we can just look beyond party politics and think about business in a new way, then I want to hear from him. So yeah, I appreciate your comment, and I do hope that I'm the kind of person that can do that.
Could I just make a comment?
regarding the standardized testing and merit pay. As a former foreign language teacher, I question how this would be done for me, because standardized testing, I don't think they test on your, teaching of Spanish or German or French or whatever it is. How would this happen? I mean, it couldn't be done very equally on everybody.
Yeah, that is interesting.
And there are other specialized fields. How does the guy who is in shop, how is...
Well, yeah, how do you test welding ability in a stand? I guess.
How's it going to affect him? I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Business class.
Okay. All right.
Brought up prevailing wage. I'm 21 years old. I work for a construction company in the summers. I go to college. I got the opportunity to work at a prevailing wage job, and I loved making the extra money. It was great, especially for a college student. However, I was making $38.50 an hour. I had one summer of experience. The guy who works with me, who's had 25 years of experience, was also getting $38.50 an hour. So was almost everybody else on that job. I felt like I was cheating the system almost. I didn't deserve to be making that much. As great as it is, I think it's something that at least should be lessened in a way, if not just gotten rid of completely. Because I didn't, I love making $38.50 an hour as a college student, but I didn't deserve that.
So you think there should be some way of, as you're employed longer, you get step increases?
Well, I mean, not only that, my boss shouldn't be forced to pay me, a guy with one summer of experience, $38.50 an hour. As much as I love it.
Well, apparently you did a good job.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. I think it's been a good discussion. And as I said before, I hope you'll go out, have a beer, a cup of coffee, find somebody who disagrees with you, and carry on the discussion. Lori's going to be here for a little while, so please feel free to come up and talk to her some more if you'd like.
We clap.